It is our knowledge legacy to future generations.
ఈ ఉద్యమాన్ని దేశ నలుమూలలా వ్యాపింపజేసి ప్రజలకు మంచి నాణ్యమైన చదువు అందించాలనే ఉద్దేశంతో నేషనల్ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా ఏర్పడింది.
छोटे बच्चे हैं जो पूरी प्रिविलेज नहीं ले पाते सी बुक्स दी या जर्नल्स दी कुछ अच्छा मटेरियल जिस तो वो वांझे रह जाते सी उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे तरीके नाल मिल सकता है.
इंटरनेटर सहायत मोबाइल टेक्नोलॉजी और कंप्यूटर यूज करी भारतर सकलो शिक्षार्थीये सकलो ठाइर পৰা नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया यूज কৰিব পাৰে.
शिक्षण पद्धति है, व्यवहारिक ज्ञान है, थीसिस है, डिसर्टेशन्स है.
நாங்கள் இந்த தேசிய லைசன்ஸ் பயன்படுத்துவதனால இந்த நூலகத்தின் உள்ளடக்கத்தை எல்லோரும் இலவசமாக நாடு தழுவி பயன்படுத்தலாம்.
আমাদের ন্যাশনাল ডিজিটাল লাইব্রেরি এমন একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম যা আমাদের সভ্যতা, সংস্কৃতি এবং শিক্ষার সম্পদকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখতে সাহায্য করে.
The true success of a library lies with its users. Hence, I invite all of India to make use of this platform.
I am National Digital Library of India.
I am in National Digital Library of India.
I am the National Digital Library of India.
मैं National Digital Library of India.
मैं नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया.
నేను నేషనల్ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా.
હું છું नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया.
நான் இந்தியாவின் தேசிய நூலகம்.
मी निरुपमा बावडेकर नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्ररी ऑफ इंडिया आहे.
I am National Digital Library of India.
मैं नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया.
আমি ন্যাশনাল ডিজিটাল লাইব্রেরি অফ ইন্ডিয়া.
We are National Digital Library of India.
Okay, so that was a quick presentation about video about the NDLI. So we are about 36 people now. Dr. Prakash, should we start or?
Yeah, sure. Can we wait 1 or 2 minutes?
Yes, please. Okay, so I think still there are people whose audio has not yet connected. Say for example, Mr. Abhinav Kumar. So okay, so now they are connecting. Kapir Pari, Nataraj GS, RR ATM, Sai Krishna, Sivanna. So there are still a few people who have joined just now. So for the benefit of them, I will repeat a few housekeeping rules that we have for this webinar. One is kindly rename your screen name to your actual name or full name. Say for example, there is one person whose name is written as AMN. So we don't know how to call that person, and you have to write your full name so that we will be able to communicate with you properly. And there are something written as Moto G4. So kindly rename your screen. And second thing is, in order to listen to us, you need to join your audio with the app. So how you need to do is, on the mobile app, at the bottom left corner there is an icon called audio. Just click on that icon, then your audio will start. Or when you start when you log in, at that time itself it will ask join audio. Just have to click OK. It will automatically connect. And kindly do not share your screen, or we don't have to start the video now, because everybody starts a video, then there will be a bandwidth show. So we will turn on the video only during the mid of the session. Okay, so
Dr. Vignesh, can we start?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Should I start?
Yeah, sure. Please start.
So we'll directly start from the presentation. Is the presentation visible? If yes, kindly put it on the chat message. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you. So let's see what is the objective of this session. So we are going to look at a few things. First is why NDLI, and who is this for, or what kind of content we have at the NDLI, how to access it, and what's the difference between Google and NDLI, and how to operate NDLI club in your own institution. So these are the few things that we are going to see in this session. Now let's look at why NDLI. So I will give you a few examples from my own experience. So when I was doing my research for my MPhil and PhD, I studied at one of those prestigious institutions that this country has, where the library is 24/7 open. It's a 9-story building library. You name any major resource, it's available. So in such kind of a library, I faced three or four major issues. The first major challenge the physical library poses is, so in the physical library, there are restrictions to the number of copies of the same resource that you can have. Say for example, when in one of the instances, when my faculty member prescribed for a specific chapter to be read from an international authored resource, so I went to the central library and I searched in the OPAC, and whenever we go to the library, when it's a very important resource or a very expensive resource, it's most likely that that resource has been issued to a faculty member. So that's what I had faced on at least few instances. So what has happened is, after a couple of visits to the library, I realized this resource may not come back to the library. So I went back to the faculty member who got this resource issued. Then I took a photocopy of the resource, and then I returned back the resource. So that's one of the challenges. The access to same resource by multiple persons at the same time is a challenge in the physical library. And the second challenge is, okay, so just give me a moment. Let me just connect properly. Is my audio okay, or is there still disturbance?
Now it's okay.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Thank you. So, so I was telling you about the number of copies that we can have in the library. So that's always going to be a challenge. And the second challenge that I faced was you have when you go to the library that you search in the OPAC, the resource may be available in the library. It's not issued to anyone. You go to the so and so section and so rack. Except that one book, you will find the rest of the books in the library in the same rack. So one brilliant student in the campus might hide it somewhere that only he can find out that resource. So that's the second challenge that I faced. And the third challenge I faced was the resource may be there in the OPAC.
Dr. Vignesh, your voice is not clear.
Okay.
Your voice is breaking.
Just give me a moment. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So actually there is some connectivity issue here. That's why there is a problem.
Okay.
So I think now it may be better. So
yes, go ahead.
And the next challenge I was telling you about, the third challenge I was telling you about was on the so you may find it in the OPAC and you may find it in the rack. When you search for the specific chapter in the book, it could have been two reasons. One is that that specific chapter might have been toned off, and or it could have been underlined with a pencil or a pen so that it becomes readable. So these three challenges I faced in the physical libraries. And apart from this, there are other challenges like the financial allocations for the libraries has been drastically reduced in the last 5 or 6 years. The institutes have their own reasons. That's a challenge. And the next challenge is like, even if you have resources, when you buy more resources, the libraries are struggling to like manage these resources in their physical infrastructure. Because there is a limitation that a library has. Beyond a point, they can't store resources, so they have to look for alternative ways of storing the resources. So these are some of the challenges that we have faced in the physical libraries. So looking at all these challenges, the government of India way back in 2014 and 15 were wondering like, how do we address the challenge of taking educational resource to every Indian citizens, not only to the privileged few, but to the all the educational institutions in the country. And that's when they like looked at having an online digital repository of resources. And I think when the then MHRD minister was looking for a solution, so a few of my colleagues like Professor Parthapratim Chakraborty, Professor Parthapratim Das, and other colleagues, they like put up this idea of National Digital Library of India, and it was approved and it was launched as a pilot project in 2016. So that's how NDLI was conceived. So when like it was started, there was a perspective to this entire NDLI and online learning. So if you look at this India map, so except very few states like Kerala, Goa, Mizoram, and Tripura, where the literacy level is like above 90%. In most of the states, Indian states, the literacy level is below 75%. And also there is another statistics that says every month 10 lakh youths are turning into 18 years, which means they have to get into higher educational domain, and they have to, in order to address that educational need, India needs 6 universities and 270 colleges every month to address the education need. but like it also requires huge amount of financial resources in order to set up and also operationalize. But having seen the existing educational infrastructure, the government of India thought it may not be a sustainable solution if we get set up more physical institutions. So they looked at alternative solutions. That's when they come up with like various digital solutions like Swayam Prabha, NPTEL, NDLI. All these are supplementary and complementary learning resource materials. So even during this time of Corona, this lockdown, so even our physical libraries are closed, but NDLI is up and running. And in the last 40 odd days, the usage of NDLI has crossed more than 50 lakh users. So that shows the kind of potential that NDLI has. And this initiative was dedicated to the nation on 19 June 2018 by the then MHRD minister. Now let us look at who is this for and what kind of content we have at NDLI. So NDLI has content for everyone, starting from the school-going students, college-going youths, professionals who are into like work and business, academicians, researchers, entrepreneurs, lifelong learners. So you name anyone who is interested in learning, we have resource for them. And how do we work? So basically, we don't produce any content. What we do is we actually collaborate with educational research and publishing partners. So say for example, if Alliance University is interested in sharing their non-copyrighted open resource publications, then NDLA can give them a platform to like move their open free knowledge resources into open public domain, open it for the entire country. So likewise, we have collaborated with 278 such content collaborators within India as well as outside of the country as well. So kindly do not start your video. I think I'm getting some notification. Okay, so let's see what type of content we have at NDLI. So this is as per the DDC classification. So there is a classification format that is available. So computer science, information and general works, we have closer to 99 lakh resources. Philosophy and psychology, 6.1 lakhs. Religion, 2 lakhs. So if your mic is unmute, kindly mute it. There is some disturbance here. Okay. Social sciences, we have 45 lakhs. Language, 1 lakh. Natural sciences and mathematics, 83 lakhs. Technology, 1 crore. Arts, fine and creative arts, 4.5 lakhs. Literature and rhetoric, 7.8 lakhs. History and geography, 6.1 lakhs. So these are the kind of content we have at NDLI. And in total, as of today, we have closer to 4.8 crore knowledge resources. And the top 20 content contributors include World eBook Library. They have contributed closer to 77 lakh resources, followed by CiteSeerX, 52 lakh. PubMed Central, 38 lakhs. IEEE, 33 lakhs. WHO Global Index Medicus, 2.26 lakhs. So these are some of the major content contributors. And from World eBook Library, the government of India has procured national license. So I will talk about this national license in a very short while. And what type of content we have? So you name any major form of educational and knowledge resource, we have it. Say for example, starting from an ebook, article, lecture slides, video lectures, audio lectures, stamp papers, assignments, case studies, question banks, competitive examination preparation materials, data sets, manuscripts, thesis, dissertation, project reports, law acts, law judgments. So you name any major form of educational and knowledge resource, it's available at NDLI. And so if you look at the content wise, resource wise content count, articles dominate the list with 2.97 crore resource or articles, followed by books which are 64 lakhs, reports 12 lakhs, notes 11 lakhs, law act 8.7 lakhs, law judgments 8.7 lakhs, technical reports 7.1 lakhs, thesis 6.4 lakhs, historical records 5.3 lakhs, video lectures 3.62 lakhs. So, if when you search at NDLI, you will see below every search 3 icons. First icon denotes the access option. Access option means, so as I mentioned, there are about 4.8 crore resources in total available, out of which 3.6 crore resources, that is 75% of the resources, are full text resources. That means full text resources means you can actually download the entire book or article into your mobile phone or a desktop or laptop without paying a single penny. So that shows the full text options. So here, in order to access the full text, you have to click on the green lock open and this a man with NDLI written on it. So these are the 2 icons which denotes it's a full text resource. And the next icon is language, and the next one is content type. So as I mentioned, so open resources are 2.74 crore resource, and the NDLI resources are 75 lakh resources. Now let us look at how to access NDLI. So accessing NDLI is very simple. So go to Google or any search engine, type National Digital Library of India, and the first URL you will get is ndl.iitkgp.ac.in. So that's the first URL, and in order to open it, and we also have another URL called ndl.gov.in. So both the URLs work. So like for ease of use, you just click on the first URL. So once you click, this will take you to the home page. So this is how the current home page of NDLI looks like. So this is the home page of NDLI. So you can just close this. So may I request you to kindly mute your mic because there is some disturbance in the audio. Thank you. So I searched, in order to search, you have to, on the top, you have the search bar. So I searched for a topic called organizational behavior. Okay. And then I have to click on this search icon. Here I applied 2 filters. So on the left hand side and on the right hand side, I have few filters through which I can narrow down my results. So I clicked on open, and then I wanted only video lectures on organizational behavior. So what I did was, on the right hand side, there is a filter called content type. So I clicked on videos. So I got 322 video lectures available on the topic of organizational behavior. Okay. And there are other filters also available which help you in narrow downing your results. We will see all the filters in a little time. And then I searched for a topic called business economics. Okay, so here I applied again 2 filters. One is access restriction, where I wanted only full text resources, and under the subject category of social sciences and technology. Okay, so I clicked technology and social science. I got 6 lakh resources on the topic of business economics. You can further narrow down the results by using other filters like file format, language, source, learning resource type, and content type. So you can narrow down your results. And the next topic I searched was on financial accounting. Here I wanted only video lectures on financial accounting. So I simply went and clicked on video filter available on the right hand side. I got 1727 video lectures on the topic of financial accounting. And the next topic I searched was on entrepreneurship. Here I applied, I wanted only full text resources on the topic of entrepreneurship. So I clicked on access restriction, open, and NDLI. I got 28,725 resources on the topic of entrepreneurship. So you can see the list of resources that are available here. Suppose if you want a video lecture, just go here and click on video. Suppose if you want a presentation, click on the presentation. So you can further narrow down the results. Then I searched for a topic called cost accounting. So for the educational level of UG and PG and video lectures. So I got 1822 video lectures on the topic of cost accounting. And then I searched for a topic called financial management. Here I want only thesis available on the topic of financial management. So what I did was I searched for financial management, and then I went to a filter called source. There I clicked for Inflibnet Shodhganga. Shodhganga is the repository of all the theses that are available in this country. So there are about 15,843 theses available on the topic of financial management. So here you can see financial management in tea industry, financial management of Chhattisgarh government. So you can see all the relevant theses which are available under the topic of financial management. And then I searched for a topic called business analytics. I wanted only NPTEL videos. So what I did was I went to source and then clicked on NPTEL. I got 506 results on the topic of business analytics. So here you can see like lecture 43, business analytics and big data by Mamata Janamani. So these are some of the video lectures. And then I searched for a topic called English for communication. And then I chose the subject category of language. I got 36,000 results on the topic of English for communication. Okay, so during this lockdown period, our team has actually further narrowed down and classified the resources into various educational levels and disciplines also. So for example, here you can see, so in order to access it, what you can do is go to the home page or any page. On the top, you will see Corona outbreak study from home. So just click on this icon, then you will have this pop-up window in front of you. So here you can see school, UG engineering, UG science, UG other disciplines, language, management, and law. So you can click on management and see resources relevant to management. And also our team has classified research resources on the topic of COVID-19. So on the COVID-19 topic, we have resources, research resources repository for the purpose of any further research on the topic of COVID-19. Now let us see how to open a resource at NDLI. So I searched for a topic called sales and marketing management. Okay, and then I applied for 3 filters: access restriction, NDLI and open, subject category, technology and social science, and the learning resource type, I want only books. So I got 260,000 resources on the topic of sales and marketing management. And suppose if I have to open the first resource, so I have to just go and click on this first URL. So once I click, I will see this page. So on the top, you see 2 tabs. One is content, another one is metadata. So once I click on this metadata, so you will see all these information. This is the basic information about the resource. So the topic of this resource is salesmanship and sales management. So this is the topic name. Who is the author? John George Jones. He is the author. Source from World eBook Library. What is the content type? Text. File format PDF. Language is in English. So you can see the basic information. What is the page count? 396. Okay, and then you see the access restriction. So this shows it's a NDLI, which means you can actually download the full text resources. And one more thing you need to see is I have already logged in as Vignesh Swarnamohan here. So then if I want to download this, just click on this content icon, then all the 385 pages of the content will download in your system, laptop, desktop or mobile phone. And then you can use it for educational purposes. You can share it with your friends. That's possible. Imagine suppose if you have not logged in, so which you can see here. So suppose if you click on content without logging in, it will ask you to log in. Please log in to view this content. So what you need to do is click on this login button. So once you click, this pop-up window will appear. Okay, suppose if you are already registered and if you know your email and password which you used for registration, just enter the email ID and password and the captcha and then click login. Then you will be able to download the resource. Okay, very simple. Suppose if you have registered but you forgot your password, then there is an option called account recovery. So once you click on this account recovery, you will get this pop-up window. So you just enter your registered email ID and then submit. Then you will get a password reset email with URL. You just click on it, reset your password, and then you can log in again. And suppose if you have never registered at NDLI, then you have the option to register. Just click on this button, register. Then you will have this registration form with some basic details like full name, email ID, password, and confirm password. So these 4 details are the mandatory fields. Rest of them are optional, which you may or may not fill. And then submit. Once you submit, you will get a verification email, and then you just have to verify and then log in with your username and password. So this is how you can download the resources. Suppose if you want to view a video lecture, once you click on it, this is how the video lecture will open. See, using NDLI is very simple. You just have to remember 2 important things. And the first important thing is you should know the search topic properly without any spelling mistakes. You should not make any spelling mistakes in the search topic. So that has to be very clear. And the second thing is you need to know the filter option to narrow down your results. Right? So there are some important filters that I wanted to take you through. The first important filter is access restriction. So suppose if you want to only full text resource, then click on this open and NDLI, you will get only the full text resources. And the second filter is author. Suppose if you want, you search for the topic and then look for the authors which are available, then choose the author. Suppose if you want Whaley, just click on this Whaley, then you will get the resources from Whaley only. And the third filter is subject category. Suppose like you want the topic, this depends on the topic of search. Suppose if it's related to human psychology and marketing, then you have to choose on social science and technology. So depending on the topic, you can choose the subject categories. And the fourth filter is about file format. Suppose if you want only audio files, just click on MP3. Suppose if you want the PDF file, just click on the PDF files. And the next filter is languages. There are about 300 languages that the resources available in NDLI. So you can choose the relevant language of your choice. Indian languages are also available. And the sixth filter is about the learning resource type. Suppose if you want only audiobooks, just click here. Suppose if you want photographs, just click here. Suppose if you want thesis, just click type thesis, you will get the option, then choose. And the seventh filter is source. So earlier I mentioned there are about 278 content contributors. And suppose if you want resources only from Aligarh Muslim University, just click Aligarh Muslim University. Suppose if you want resources only from Bloomsbury, just click on Bloomsbury. Bharati Dasan University, just click here. So you can accordingly choose your source content. And the next filter, eighth filter is content type. So it's available in the desktop on the right hand side. So you can choose audio, video, presentation, text accordingly. So these are the important filter options that you may want to remember. And this entire NDLI interface, you can like navigate in your own mother tongue also. Say for example, it's available in Bangla, Hindi, Gujarati, Kannada, Marathi, Odia, and Tamil. So these are the languages the interface is on, and our team is also working on other Indian languages. And for the benefit of our modern users, we have come up with mobile apps both on Android as well as on iOS. And you can download the Android app or iOS from the respective stores, Play Store or iStore. Just go to Play Store or iStore and then search for National Digital Library of India. And you will see this icon with the basic description. And if you see this icon with the National Digital Library of India as the publisher, just click on install, then the mobile app will come to your mobile. Once you install, then you can open the app. So I will show you how to operate the NDLI Android app. So once you install the app, if you want to open, just go to the app and then click on that app. Then this is how the home page of the Android app looks like, the first screen. Okay, so you can see subject domain wise content, learning resource type countries content, featured resources. So these are some of the this is how the home page looks like. Suppose if you want to search a topic, so here, suppose if you want to see the search box, I have to just click on this search icon. So once I click, I will get the search box. So this is the search box. So here I entered a topic called Uttar Pradesh and then clicked on search in the keypad, and I got 41,573 results on the topic of Uttar Pradesh. Okay, and now if I want to filter down the results, see in the desktop you can see the filters on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side, but in the mobile app you can see the filter on the right hand bottom corner. Okay, so here this orange color icon, this denotes the filter option. So you have to click on this filter, then you can see the third screen. You can see all the filters which we saw on the desktop application will appear on the top. You can actually scroll, so at a time only 2 or 3 tabs will filters will be shown to you, so you can actually scroll and then choose the relevant filter. So here I looked for source filter, and then I applied for sources from Aligarh Muslim University and then clicked on apply. I got 199 results on the topic of Uttar Pradesh. So this is how you need to use the NDLI mobile app. Okay, so before we move further, I wanted to give a small activity to all of you. Okay, this activity is going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do this activity. And the activity, there are two parts to this activity. The first part is you have to go to Play Store or iStore, whichever mobile phone you are using. Go to the respective Play Store or iStore and then download NDLI mobile app in your mobile phone. If you have already downloaded, well and good. If you have not downloaded, kindly download it. And the second part is you search for the topic of your subject. If you are a faculty member, search the topics which you teach. If you are a student, search the topic which you find it difficult to find the resource in your library or on the internet. So just do the search of topics which are relevant to you, and then send me a chat message. You downloaded the app, whether it is useful, and what topic you searched on the mobile app. So just put it. And now it's 5:07 in my system. So we will take 5 minutes, which means we will be resuming the session by 5:12. You be here and use your mobile phone or desktop to use the search for the content. And in the meanwhile, during this 5 minutes, you can turn on your video so that we can take few screenshot with the participants for reporting purposes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
question.
Yeah.
So myself Vijayalakshmi. Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
So to create, while downloading, it is asking us to enter our mail ID, right, sir, to log in.
Yes.
So to log in, we have to create we can give our personal mail ID, or we are supposed to give our college mail ID, sir.
So it's preferable to give the personal email ID because you are going to use it lifelong. So it's preferable if you can give the personal email ID. And
Personal mail ID.
yeah, you can check with Dr. Prakash because you already have a bulk registration option or institutional registration option. So he may be in a position to help you register.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so Mr. Chandu Tadanki, he searched, downloaded and accessed the app, searched for organizational behavior, employee and firm performance, got good and interesting results. Thank you, Mr. Chandu Tadanki. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name properly. So Ms. Malika, thank you. You downloaded and searched. Which topic you searched? Kindly put it so that I'm able to understand what you searched as well. Okay, food technology and got a lot of information. Thank you, Ms. Malika. Any other who has downloaded the app and searched for the topics? Tried few topics on project management. Good resource. Thank you, Mr. Kabir Fari. Thank you. Just downloaded, searched on artificial. So Dr. Prakash downloaded and searched on the topic of artificial intelligence. Mr. Manoj searched on the topic of library science. Thank you. We have 1 more minute to go. Admin. So I don't know who's this admin me. I searched for cloud reliability engineering, no content. Okay, that's interesting. So I will find out and let you know. Subscribed means, okay. So as I mentioned, there are some resources which, say for example, IEEE or Springer, we only have the metadata. So in order to access the full text resources, you have to subscribe to the resource that the institute has to subscribe. So currently they are not giving any individual access, so we are not able to subscribe to them. So you have to get it through your institution. And then Mr. Vipin Prasad search for laser spectroscopy. Okay, good. Dr. Virendra Kumar on library science, institution subscription or institutional subscription has to be done. Ms. Malika. Okay, Mandira Bairagi, yeah, searched on civil service exam paper. Okay, that's good. Ashwadi Nair, neuropsychological studies. That's interesting topic too that you are searching. Shirley S. Professor K.S. and Abhinandan. He searched on research papers regarding Shirley S. Very good. Motivational books. Aruth. Didn't get it. How to get it, sir? So you have to put the correct topic. Then you search for it. You will get definitely get. Shivaraju searched on COVID-19. Good. Nigat Fayaz searched for psychological empowerment. Wonderful. And general control on econometrics. Okay, but do not prefer to use mobile. Okay, that's that preference varies from individual to individual. Mr. Akshay download an app, searched on machine learning. Sai Krishna searched on the topic of machine learning. Okay, so I think it's just a beginning that you are exploring. What I request you is, so keep searching for the resources topic that may be of use for your subject. So I request all of you to turn off the video now and also mute your mics so that there is not much disturbance. Yes, there is an interesting question from Ms. Maliga. Yes, you noticed it correctly. E-books by Indian authors are less. So there is a reason to it. So the government of India is now putting together textbooks for all the major courses, especially for the Indian students. So that process is undergoing, and soon we will have resources uh, from the Indian authors also. So already there is a initiative that has started. We will soon have it. So kindly mute your mic, Ms. Mandira Sarita Jana. Kindly mute your mic. So I will request you to ask questions towards the end of the session. That time you can turn on your mic. Okay, so now we will see the rest of the presentation. Now let us see what is the major difference between Google and NDLI, and we will look at it from with the help of an example. Say for example, there is a girl called Payal who is studying in class 8, and she is studying in Hindi medium, and she wants to know about a topic called magnetism in the subject of physics. Similarly, Shamik, he wants to apply for PhD position, so he wanted to prepare his concept or thesis brief. So he also was looking for a topic, resources on the topic of magnetism. Now both of them went to Google and they searched for this term called magnetism, and they got 1.89 crore results. And then they came to NDLI and they searched for the same topic, magnetism. Both of them got 11,16,674 results. And now let's see what Payal did. What Payal did is she chose the educational level of 5th to 8th standard, and language she chose was Hindi, and she got 8 results only. So imagine where is 1.89 crore results and where is 8 results. And then what Shamik did was he chose only career and technical paper, and he got 219 results. Now let us see what is the major difference. See, Google is a brilliant giant. It does its job brilliant. We don't have any competition with Google. But there are some minor differences between Google and NDLI. So what are they? And first and foremost, so when you search for a topic, say for example, when you search for the topic called magnetism, what it does is it goes around the entire World Wide Web. Wherever this term magnetism is there, it will fetch that result, right? So, but it can't distinguish whether it is coming from an authentic source or an unauthentic source, whether the content is reliable or unreliable, whether it is relevant for the users or irrelevant for the users, right? So it can't distinguish all these things. And but whereas at NDLI, all our content are coming from an educational partner, an educational or research collaborator, and all those content are primarily for educational purposes only. So, and these contents are curated. That's one of the major differences. And the second major difference is you can actually narrow down the results using filter options, which is not possible at okay. Kindly keep your mic on mute, please. And the third, you can actually modify the content based on the content type also. So these are some of the major differences. And our fourth major difference is national licensing. So national licensing, Government of India has procured, as I mentioned earlier, when we were looking at this World eBook Library. So the government has procured certain licenses. Say for example, from World eBook Library and South Asia Archive, the government has procured national license. That means on behalf of the Indian citizens, the government has procured the license to give the access to these resources free of cost to Indian citizens. So that has happened already in with two publishers, and the Government of India has more plans to procure other major resources also. And the big picture is, so if already there is an option for like credit transfer and virtual certification, so you can actually obtain and augment 20 credits from MOOCs courses to your regular coursework. So that is possible. And the Swayam Prabha, NPTEL, Gyan, NDLI, these are all complementing and supplementing learning resource materials. Now let us look at how to operate NDLI club. So already your institution has started a NDLI club, and Dr. Prakash is spearheading that initiative. So now let's quickly look at what is the objective of NDLI club and how to operate it. So the purpose of NDLI club is to promote the culture of reading and also spread the knowledge resources of NDLI to every Indian citizen. So that's the primary objective of NDLI club. And how do we do it? So we have to form a small NDLI club with members, at least one student from each class and one faculty member from each department, with librarian as the ex officio secretary and principal as the ex officio chairman of the club. And once you get this list approved, you have to apply for the registration, and we do a verification, and then we will issue a certificate of registration. And within a month, you have to register all the students and faculty members from your institute into NDLI. So you can do it through, there are two ways to do it. One is through bulk registration. So for doing bulk registration, the institute will get 1 or 2 points when the NAC or AICT or NAB comes for accreditation. So they have been given instruction, if they are members of NDLI and they have NDLI club, you will get 1 or 2 additional points. So they have to like collect 3 details from, if they are doing bulk registration, you need to collect 3 details. One is personal email ID preferably, and then first name and last name. Only 3 details from each students and faculty member, and save it as an Excel file, and then you have to send it to us. The email ID, everything is with Dr. Prakash. He will be doing that part. And the second part is, you can also say, for example, when you go back home, your children or your friends or relatives maybe looking for some library access, so you can actually give them like introduce them NDLI through individual registration also. That how can you do is, so go to NDLI homepage. On the right bottom corner, you will see an icon called register. So just click on this button, then this NDLI registration form will open. So there are some basic details like full name of the person who is registering, the email ID, password, and confirm password. So these are the 4 details which are mandatory. Rest of the details are optional. So you just fill the details and then submit. Once you submit, you will get the verification email in the email ID given. Just click on it and then enter the password. Then you are good to log in, search, and download the resources. So once the registration part is complete, then you have to conduct various reading or knowledge related activities. So what are some of the activities that you can do? Is like a lecture series, a quiz competition, storytelling session, go fish session, film screening, drawing, role play, writing competition, maker space, and debate. So these are just some of the indicative list of activities that you can do under NDLI club. And then you need to submit this report in our like form, and then at the end of an year we will do a review and then issue the certificate of registration again. And these are some of the activities being conducted by various NDLI clubs. And also now the government is looking at rewarding the best performing NDLI club at district, state, and national level. So today only MHRD shot a report of best performing NDLI clubs, and number of registered, it depends on various parameters. And also we've started looking at conducting reading Olympiads. Say for example, we conducted district Olympiad for Coimbatore district in Tamil Nadu, and we were actually planning to conduct this Karnataka state reading Olympiad towards the first week of March and mid of March, but due to this corona thing, we had to postpone this state reading Olympiad for few months. So we just postponed that reading Olympiad. So this is what I wanted to share with all of you about NDLI, and now I'd be happy to answer to your questions. You can either put it in the chat message, or you can unmute yourself and then ask the questions one by one.
Dr. Vignesh, thank you for your presentation. I have one question. Now, actually, when our users are searching the information content type, can we add or can we integrate our subscribed content within NDLI?
Okay, like for example.
Like example now, NDLI is a very good resources are available. When I say my users to access NDLI, they are searching the information. They'll get maximum open source information only. And if they want some IEEE or Springer or EBSCO or ProQuest, some kind of articles, they'll not get because it's a subscribed one. So hence our university subscribe that product also. Can we integrate with that so that whenever users searching any information, either they have to get the access full text either through NDL or through subscribed content. So any options are there like that in future?
Yes, so that is already available. Say for example, if your say for example IEEE or Springer, it must have been bounded with your IP address.
Correct.
But when you are searching from your IP, like your library or from within your campus, you will be able to even at NDLI, even if it's written subscribe, when you click on a subscribed resource, you will be able to download and use the resources.
Correct.
The issue comes when you are accessing it from your mobile phone, because they are not IP bound. Or when you access it from your home, they are not IP bound. So that is when the challenge will come. That challenge will even come like even in the normal course of your academic work also, I believe.
But at present, actually, even we have provided remote access for all the resources what we have subscribed, even including South Asia Archives. So we have tied up with the InfluNet Shibboleth access. So at present, our faculty, staff, and student can access all the resources what you have subscribed through remote access.
Okay. So,
so that at least.
Yeah, I think then I need to check with my technical team how do we do it. So I will. So if you could send me a message so on WhatsApp, so I will get back to you with a solution.
Sure. Number one. Number two, you said that this South Asia Archives already is included in the NDLI, but now we are promoting in as a separate entity. Means we have given access to within the campus as well as the remote access also. So whether we have to continue the same thing, or can we tell all the users to access the South Asia Archives within the NDLI only?
See, I think I said it when we met last time. So actually, what happens is like World eBook Library. So if you have taken subscription from Delnet, that most of their resources are from World eBook Library, and South Asia Archives also. So you can imagine how much fee they charge. So that both these resources, they procure national license. Every Indian citizen can access it.
Correct.
Right. Suppose if it's coming to us to you as a package, say for example, if when you procure eShod Sindhu, so if it's coming as a package, then because eShod Sindhu is much bigger than World eBook Library and South Asia Archive, that has almost plenty of such like collation. So Shod Sindhu is different, but South Asia Archive specifically, if you want to subscribe, that is will not serve the purpose, because it's available at free of cost at the NDLI.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prakash. So there is another question from Mr. Admin: how to contribute the contents to NDLI? Okay, so that's say for example, if you are currently we are encouraging partner institutions. Say for example, if you want to contribute from Alliance University, that is very much possible. Say for example, like similar to Bharatidasan University or Bangalore University, so you can become an NDLI content contributor. So we help you in setting up your IDR. I think Dr. Prakash might be doing it already, and then we just ingest the metadata. And when the metadata could be for like complete, say for example, it's for both open and like subscribed resources also, you can share the entire metadata, and you can also restrict some of the resources, and then you can connect all your full text resources in your, you can keep it in your server. When somebody searches for this resource, and then we will connect you to your server, they will download it from your server only, right? So that is very much possible. But individually, if you want to contribute, currently we are not encouraging it, but if you're still interested, kindly send me an email and I will connect you with the team which is looking after the content collation. Through Dr. Prakash, you can get in touch with me, Mr. Admin.
To add to your things, Dr. Vignesh, already we have signed MOU with the NDLI.
Okay.
We have installed DSpace, and we are all, started sharing our institutional repository to the NDLI. So the process is going on.
Okay.
Probably within a short while, people can access our Alliance University institutional repository through NDLI.
That's brilliant. So that will solve your problem, Mr. Admin.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Is there any? Okay, there was a question from Ms. Ashwati Nair. Is there any download limit per day? No. You can download as much as you want. There is no limit in terms of download or in terms of usage. You can download as much as you want. Thank you. Okay, so if there are not much questions, so can we wrap up the session, Dr. Prakash?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Dr. Vignesh, on behalf of Alliance University and all users and from our NDLI club members. I thank you very much. So within a short span of time, we have arranged this, and you have agreed for that. So it's a wonderful presentation, and I think it's very informative. So hope we are going to continue with the same thing in future also.
Great.
Thank you, Dr. Vignesh. Thank you once again.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. So there is a question from Dr. Sanjay. Dr. Sanjay, yes, we can. The presentation you can either take it from Dr. Prakash, or you can go to our project website. So today's presentation I will upload it there, so you can download it and use it for your students. Yeah. And if you want, you can, Dr. Prakash, I can send you the entire video recording URL, which you can share it with
Thank you very much.
faculty members.
Sure. I'll share everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your kind participation. On behalf of NDLI, I thank the entire Alliance University management for being there, and all of you were patiently listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.